All right, here we are late in the day in Medford, Oregon, having too much fun today, dancing between raindrops and clouds, that kind of thing. Handling a few cars out of a collection here, 2 or 3 cars, and really some neat old school stuff in here. This one's a lot of fun. It's a 1941 Ford pickup. Nicely done. I would probably guess the build of this about the 80s, mid to late 80s, that type of time window. This gentleman's owned it about 15 years. He calls it his driver. I'd say it's a little bit more than a driver, quite a bit more than a driver. A lot of fun. Walk around and we'll tell you about it as we go around like we usually do. All steel with the exception of the rear fenders, but he does have a pair of original steel fenders that are included with the pickup. Underneath the hood here, and when I talk about old school, this is really an old school build. When we get around to the inside, Naugahyde interior, that kind of thing, we'll talk about that. Underneath the hood here is a 283 Chevy V8, 4-barrel V8, nicely dressed, front hung stuff. The owner's added air conditioning, so it's got 134 air conditioning. In other words, late model vintage air conditioning in it. It has a Power Glide 2-speed automatic transmission, Chevy Nova style rear differential. 41s are really neat because I really like the waterfall hood trim here. It's all been replated. It's very nicely done. Deluxe style headlamp rings here. The flames are very traditional style flames. The paint on this overall is really great. It's got nice character, just a little bit of patina, but very well preserved. These are correct for a 41. They were script here. In 40, they were a straight letter or normal style lettering on them. The grille and bright work is really nice on the front of this. He has a bra that goes with it. We actually have one section of video that we may include or may not include where it drove up with the bra or nose cover on. So it's got a little bit of light, road. I mean, again, just nice overall. These flames are actually on top, or the pinstripe is. The flames are in it, but the pinstripe's on top. There's a little bit of clear coat peel right here. And when the bra's on, you can't see it, but right here and right on the hood, he said it's been that way since he's had it. Which is about 15 years or so. Not afraid to drive this one anywhere either. A nice little Deuce 2-door that I also did on the collection. A lot of fun. Up front, super bell dropped axle, disc brakes kind of stuff. Just split wishbones, chassis engineering style conversion in the back with parallel leaf springs. I dig my gig when I see old rods like this that are incredibly well preserved. Really neat. I like the old school flames. I like the bright yellow. It has a tonneau cover on the bed. Steel running boards on it. Again, the back ones, a good 40-41 guy can tell the reproduction fenders because they're just a little bit wider, the glass fenders. A little bit more swing on them. We'll have pictures of the fenders at Spud's Garage that are included. They're stripped down to bare metal. But really, really nice body. He actually stores this on a lift, so we were able to look at the undercarriage on it. A little dark, too dark to do the full photography of there. Naugahyde interior, brown Naugahyde, vertical pleats. Again, kind of time period fits it. Interior's really tidy and clean. Of course, the air conditioning was added. Heat and air in here. When he first got it, it had no heat or air. So it's kind of nice. It has vents underneath the dash here. Look at this dash here. It's a Wabbit's wood dash. Very, very cool. And that's where you kind of pick up the date on this. Wabbits, like silly Wabbit. Tricks are for kids. That kind of Wabbit. Anyway, kind of just having fun today. Long road trip for Spudman. Kind of give you the headliner there, trying to get the light to come into you. It's got a really nice headliner, and it's finished off behind the back seat here. Kind of nice. Carpet. It's got fitted, snapped in our carpet down here and matching floor mats. Tilt steering column, air conditioning, gauges over here on the passenger side. I might as well cover these while I'm over here. Stewart Warner gauges, so old school gauges. Water temp gauge, battery charge gauge over here, a volt gauge and a vacuum gauge. At one time it was NSRA safety inspected. I just noticed that sticker in 2010. He drives it. Doors shut nice. Really nice body on this pick 'em up truck. Hot rod pick 'em up truck. Take a look here. Couple old school cues here, some louvers on the side that fill out this bed. Typically it'd be a panel, and there's more of a gap there, put it that way, but cool touch. Polished American torque thrust wheels on it. Good solid pickups like this are really, really hard to find. This will fall into the affordable level, which is really nice. Paint's actually a high quality professional job. On both sides you'll find a little bit of cracking here where they normally let it. Nothing big or worth talking about. I call it character. The average person is not even going to notice or see it. It's got a third brake light there. A nice snap-on bed cover that fits nice. We've had it off and covered the bed for you, so hang on to the video. On the back here, it's got 39 Ford taillights that are horizontal now, that are LEDs. It has a louvered rear pan here, which is kind of cool. Meg tips on the back. It's got a nice sound, runs and drives great. Fuel tank fill is where it would have been from the factory. On the left rear fender here. A little rummy at the end of the day, like I talked about. He's road tripping on the road 3 days now. You know, a little chip here. The easy touch-up stuff. Yellow is a really pleasing color. In fact, the bumblebees like it. We've had some bumblebees around it today. Again, the louvered panel down here, the fill panel. Kind of nice. Chassis finished in a tan color. Vertically pleated cloth, brown naga hide, Wabbit's wood dash. Got a moon tack on the dash here. Tilt steering column, banjo steering wheel. Neat little switches and toggles down here. This panel was added when they added the AC. Hey, I appreciate you listening to me. Appreciate you coming to spudsgarage.com, Spuds Garage YouTube. I think I'll fire this up here for you. Why not, right? We'll hop in here. Starts up without me touching the gas. Oregon assigned VIN. Makes it easy. 50 state approved. Vacuum gauge is working. Volt gauge is working. Temp gauge, we ain't even had time to warm it up. This is an AM FM secret audio. A lot of guys will hide these in their glove box or stuff. I haven't seen one put in the dash here. That's kind of neat. Vintage air conditioning controls are right there. 2-speed power glide. 22,006 miles. Those are the miles on this truck since it was built. Fuel gauge works. Oil pressure is 40 pounds. 283 jibby. Anyway. All right, we'll get you underneath the hood. Like we talked about, this baby's just old school style all the way through. This collection has some really neat old hot rods is what these are. Underneath the hood is a 283 V8, 283 Chevy V8. It has stock style exhaust manifolds where they would have hung the generator from it. I'll cover that for you here. It has an aluminum intake manifold with a Carter AFB Weber style carburetor, or nowadays it's an Edelbrock. I'm sure it says that up there. Factory distributor with an HEI, or excuse me, a Petronix ignition in it. Like I talked about, aluminum intake manifold, ball milled valve covers, ball milled wire separators, front runner chrome style front end belt drive on the front. GM alternator. It has been modernized a little bit with air conditioning on the front here. This is R134A air conditioning. You can always tell by the size of the inlet ports. It does have heat and AC. All 4 lines run into the firewall there, so vintage AC, modernized. Again, factory stock style 283 exhaust manifold, chrome pulleys, that kind of thing. It has a cooling components electric cooling fan on it. Has a Power Glide automatic transmission and a Nova style rear differential in it, GM. It's raining a little bit, so I'm covering a little bit out here. We'll wipe it down to do the photo shoot here if it doesn't start raining too much. Been dancing around raindrops all day, trying to keep my lens from getting wet. Bottom side of the hood. All right, there you go. Go to spudsgarage.com. Hang on to the end of the video. All right, we thought we'd show you the bed here. We rolled the tonneau cover back, the old school tonneau cover, and we'll cover the floor here with you. Got a nice little mat in here so stuff doesn't slide around. Kind of give you a feel. It's got 2 layers of wood in it, or has 2 layers of wood in it. I'm sure it's got a base of plywood, and we had it actually up on the lift and took a peek at that. And then it's got a laminate style floor in here, which is kind of neat. It's just functional. That box over there is a battery box. That's where the battery is, and that's your access to the battery. Really nice bedsides. This solid old truck. Anyway, hang on to the end of the video. I'm sure we're gonna have more for you. Have a great day. All right, we're going to get you to the undercarriage here. Notice a couple things. I probably already covered them during the walk around. The louvered pan down here in the back. The wires back there are for a small fiberglass trailer that he pulls. You can mount his hitch. He moves it from his deuce to his pickup, that kind of thing. Nova style rear end, drum brakes in the rear, parallel leaf springs, chassis engineering style, so they eliminated the bones in the factory axle in the back. Dual exhaust, nice little mags. You've heard it run probably by now. Polished American torque thrust on the back. 225/75 R15s in the rear. Again, chassis engineering, bolt-on stuff, factory chassis. You'll see the split wishbones up front. Dropped axle in the front, Super Bell, dropped axle, disc brakes. Front tire size is a 165/80 R15. Again, you'll see little raindrops on it right now. Stock style front suspension, dropped axle like we talked about. Standard cross steer. Little baby bump on the chin there, pretty typical. Again, this was built, I'm gonna guess late 80s, early 90s, or sometime in the 80s. He's owned it a number of years. Good solid body. I know the light's a little odd there. We'll see if we can't get it up on the lift. There you go. Have a great day. Go to spudsgarage.com. Thanks for listening to me. All right, this one's been stored on the lift, so we had the chance to put this one on the lift here. Old school style underside here, split bones, kind of cover the floor. Exterior wise, I'll do the photo shoot because it's just too dark outside. I'll do that out when I do the full walk around photo shoot. But we wanted to capture this as part of the video. So stock front suspension with a Super Bell dropped axle in it. Disc brakes added to the front. Probably done somewhere in the 80s or 90s, multi-leaf buggy spring. Good riding little pickup. It's one that the owner calls his driver. Drives this little pickup. Small block, power glide, 2-speed power glide, automatic. Like I said, definitely old school. Split bones in the front. This is all chassis engineering stuff where it gives additional support to the frame and they split the wishbones. Brake proportioning valve is right there. Overall, nice solid floor pans. We'll show you up inside the fenders here. Bottom of the running boards. Chassis has been finished in a tan. Bottom side of the bed, which is wood. The battery is located and accessible from the bed of the truck. Flowmaster style mufflers. Again, chassis engineering bolt-on style components where you put parallel leaf springs in the rear. Gas shocks. Again, just a good solid riding truck, kind of hauler. If I can get back here without kind of give you a feel here. Differential, I'm not sure what that's out of. I'm going to guess it's a Chevy Nova or something like that, a GM. I'll take a look at the spec sheet. I didn't do that before I pulled it off the lift here again. Solid. Oregon, 1941. He's got a little connection here. He's got a little tiny fiberglass trailer he hauls behind a couple of his hot rods, and you can bolt the hitch on, and that's what that harness is there for, so it's for the taillights. One more pass through here. Given the ability, I like to cover the undercarriage when I can up on a lift. It's better on my back. Anyway, we think you get the idea. Hang on to the end of the video, or you should be just about the end. Go to spudsgarage.com. Alright, he's taking it back to his garage. Definitely could be going to your garage. Make sure you go to Spud's Garage. Thanks for listening to me. Have a great day. We'll let the tape roll here for you.